whoever's watching, Siobhan, and welcome to day 15 of Vlogmas. Today's Christmas outfit, or PJs, is a Harry Potter sleep shirt. Super cozy. I got this last year along with my Harry Potter dressing gown that I wore in the last video. Yeah. Just before I started filming, my mum messaged me saying, asking if I wanted some tea. So I've got some tea in my Harry Potter mug, of course, and some cookies. But basically I'm going to be going through all of the crime thriller books I've read this year. This will not include horror, like supernatural thrillers, or it's just plain and simple crime thrillers basically. I read a total of 15 books, which in total accounted to 5,156 pages, which is a lot for 15 books. But one of the books was an audiobook, so I think that was like around like 7 to 11 hours. I can't exactly remember how long it was, but I'll get to that eventually. But I'm just going to go through the list in the order that I read them. So the first book I read this year was The Woman in the Window by A.G. Finn. I ended up giving this 4 stars. Honestly, I just loved it. This one kind of threw me for a loop because I actually outwardly like cried at this book for some reason. It was a bit emotional as to like why the woman in this book is agoraphobic, and when you finally find out why, it's so sad. Yeah, I just got super upset about it, but the actual twist in who this killer was, I did not see coming, surprisingly. I'm usually good at figuring it out, but I just bypassed right past my head this time. So I really enjoyed this. I know there is controversy around this author, but I can, about 90% of the time, like separate author from their work, so I did really enjoy this book so much. 4 stars. I won't be talking like in depth of what the books are about because there's 15 books to go through, so I need to kind of like make this quick. The second book was The End by James Patterson and Brendan Dubois. It's one of his book shots, and I ended up giving it 3 stars. It's not one of his best, but it wasn't like terrible or anything. It was okay. Usually the book shots are like under 200 pages or maybe just over, but this one was like 160, so it was about average. I have like a whole load of them there. But this one was, it was okay. It definitely gave you like a thrill. It just kept you like on the edge of your seat basically. It was just like fast paced thrilling, and that's why I love the book shots, because they're like all like that. 3 stars. The next book I read was also a book shot. This is a triple threat where there's 3 of them in here, but I read the bottom one, The Pretender. This one I ended up giving 4 stars because it was really good. Yeah, it's the shortest book shot I've ever read by James Patterson. It was only 98 pages long, and there was a lot packed in there, and I absolutely loved it. It wasn't quite a 5 stars because it wasn't like mind blown, but it was really good. I did see the twist coming only just before it happened, but I finally caught on, and I was like, oh, and then I was right, and I was like, but it was really good. 4 stars. The next book I read was actually a surprise. It's One of Us is Lying by Karen McManus. I read this for the Owls, I'm pretty sure, in April, and I read this on a whim because I mostly read like adult crime thrillers, so I didn't really expect like too much from a young adult thriller, like crime thriller, because I don't know, I just don't think it would be as complicated as a regular adult one. But I did not figure this one out until the book told me what was going on. So I was a bit surprised. I don't know if I was like off my ball game or what, but I did not figure it out. but I really quite enjoyed this. I gave this 4 stars. The next book is Killing Floor by Lee Child. It's the first in the Jack Reacher series. This was actually really slow going for me. It took me a while to get into it. I found that a lot of this could have been cut out. It didn't have to be so big. I don't know if the author does it on purpose, but he's very vivid in his like explanations of what things look like that are completely irrelevant to the story. And that did like piss me off just like a little bit. But the actual story was good. The whole time also, I don't know if it was on purpose, you don't trust anyone other than Jack Reacher, and he's weird as it is. So I did give it 4 stars. It was okay. It was pretty good. The next book I read was also for, I think it was Tome Topple or The Owls, I can't remember. But it's The President is Listen by James Hartson and Bill Clinton. It's the Waterstones edition. I love it. It's so pretty with the red edges. But I ended up giving this 4 stars also. I loved the cyber terrorism side to this. It was a cool take on that, and I really did enjoy it. I was never bored at any point, but it was just not, I keep saying it's just not mind blowing. I really only kind of reserve 5 stars for like books that are just like out of this world amazing, basically. So yeah, it was 4 stars. It was pretty good. I liked their take on cyber terrorism. It was really good. The next 2 books are the 2 books for, I don't know what numbers these are. This could be like 7 and this could be 8, or it could be like 8 and this could be 9. I don't know at this point. But Violets Are Blue and For Blind Mice by James Patterson. I gave this one 4 stars. It was really good. Really like thrilling, edge of your seat, heart racing. It was really good. But I gave this one 3 stars. It was definitely not one of his best Alex Cross books for sure. I just felt like it was more of a filler book that didn't need to happen. I don't know. It was still good and thrilling, but it was just not up there with some of his other books. So 3 stars for this one. The next book I read, this was a 5 star. This, The Dry by Jane Harper, was a 5 star. I benched this in 2 days. I love Aaron Falk, and Jane Harper can just describe the whole world in so much detail that you can literally imagine yourself being there with Aaron Falk. I just loved this book so much. Next book is Alex by Pierre Lamette. This is actually the second book in the Camille Verhoeven series. This is the second one. I didn't know there was a first one called Irene. Oops. But I don't think you have to read the first one to be able to read this one. There's like different stories in each, but it's with the same detective. But this was extremely, extremely dark, with like trigger warnings of sexual abuse, kidnapping, like unlawful confinement. It was like even torture. It's really, really dark and nasty. And it's just one of those dark, gritty books, but it was really good, and there was justice in the end, which, in a twisted kind of way. I don't know how to explain it, but I gave it 4 stars. It was good, just really, really dark. You kind of, I would suggest being kind of the right mindset to be able to read something like this. It's a bit disturbing. Next book is Two Can Keep Secret by Karen McManus. I also gave this one 4 stars. A lot of people said that this one's not as good as One of Us is Lying, but honestly, I liked it just the same. I don't think there was as much thrill in it as One of Us is Lying, but it's still really, really good. And I enjoyed the characters. I loved the twins in this. So yeah, I still gave it 4 stars like the first one. The last physical one I read was Force of Nature, the sequel to The Dry by Jane Harper. Again, we're back in Iron Fox World. This one wasn't as good as the first one, unfortunately. I did give it 4 stars. It was still extremely good, but just not quite there yet. I don't know. Again, I just love the world building in this. I just love the way her characters are like fleshed out. I just love all of the characters in here. But yeah, I did really enjoy it. It was definitely thrilling as well as the first one, so I love this. The ebook is The Dinner by Herman Koch, or Koch, I don't know how you say it. This I gave 1 star. If I could give it minus, I would. I don't know, I just hated it, honestly. I don't think I've ever hated a book as much as this one. I've never had that feeling before, and I just absolutely hated it. I've been told that this is like one of those books you either really love it and understand the book and where the author is coming from, or you absolutely hate it and are kind of disgusted by the topic that's been talked about. It's, I don't know, I just find that the message that came across to me anyway was that murder is okay, and I did not like that, did not agree with that at all. I just would not recommend. I mean, I'm not going to police you if you want to read it, but just beware that you're either going to love it or you're going to hate it. It's like, it's 2 extremes, you know, it's just not great. The other ebook I read was The Chalk Man by C.J. Tudor. I gave this 4 stars. I still don't know if I'm going to keep it at 4 stars because I loved the atmosphere. It was very Stephen King, which was my problem because it was too much like It by Stephen King, and I have read that. It was just, the characters were way too similar to the group in It. Like bunch of boys, one girl with red hair, and I'm just not sure about that, but maybe that's why I also liked it, because I love Stephen King and It, so I don't know. But I did like the story behind it, and this has like an unreliable, weird character, like main character. He's a bit dodgy. I don't know, but I still liked it. I did give it 4 stars. I don't know, I'm still not 100% sold on it. I don't know yet. I don't know. My mind has not been made up about it. But the only audiobook I listened to this year was You by Caroline Kepnes. This one was creepy as hell. I did speak about it recently in another Vlogmas video. I think it was my audiobooks that I've read this year. Creepy. I ended up giving it 4 stars. I don't know, it was very creepy, and it was unsatisfying in the end, to be honest. I think that's probably why I gave it 4 stars. It very creepy, the audiobook. That's all I can call it, is creepy. It just really is disturbing. So yeah, that's all of the crime type thriller books that I've read this year that doesn't include like fantasy thrillers or stuff like that. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed my Goodreads, Twitter and Instagram are in the description as always. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.